Hey folks, it's Maxwell here, and welcome to episode 2 of AEW for the Sickos, as we have our Dynamite go-home show as we head towards Wrestledream. It was an interesting introduction the first week of the save, a pretty decent Dynamite, followed by a we need star power Collision, but I'm really trying not to sign too many people too early. I want to try and utilise loans, etc. I mean, truthfully, the problem a person you'll see sign pretty early will probably be Bobby Lashley, just purely for the basis of, well, we've got MVP, so we'll probably bring him in at one point. But due to Swerve being inactive at the start of the mod, and that's the feud I kind of want to go down as well, there's no real rush with that. So, I don't know how the episodes went, because I'm recording this literally just after the first week, so let's hope it's positive. But we'll crack on. As I say, the storylines are flowing okay. I'm quite happy with what I've got. Cards pretty much written out for what I intend to utilise at Wrestledream. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this week's AEW Dynamite, the Go Home Show. So this week's Dynamite is at the Peaks Ice Arena. And we start off with the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. It is Jon Moxley. And he takes on Dante Martin in our opening bout, which was decent. He wins in 9:47 with the Bulldog choke. Probably a wee bit like AEW booking IRL with the very obvious victory. But a 67 for this segment, obviously gaining him some momentum going into Wrestledream. Both guys are struggling because of their physical condition. So that could be a big issue in the save, because it's a very hard hitting style in AEW. We'll obviously have more of Moxley as the show goes on. We then have a little segment backstage, and it's just Will Ospreay again trying to get into the ear of Ricochet, just basically saying it's cool that he's taken the loss, not too personally. He is trying to get himself to be better, but he knows he's on a different level from Ricochet right now, and it's up to him to get there. That was a 56. Storyline advances, and it gained a little bit of heat. I'm in two minds whether to have a rematch at Wrestledream or just try and stall it out to maybe full gear, but we'll find out as we'll see how much heat, if the story's hot, if it's cold, and we'll go from there. Ricochet was in action next. He took on the Butcher, and it was a decent matchup there. Ricochet wins in 9:52 with a 6:30 splash. Good chemistry between Taz and Excalibur. Ricochet's getting better at his gimmick, and overall this was a 64 segment. We then had a little segment backstage where Wheeler Yuta bumps into Renee Paquette. She's still trying to get into Yuta's mind here. What is the situation with him, Claudio, Pac, and Moxley? He just says his head's all over the place, and he just wants to make sure he can stay a champion because that's his dream. So that was just a 44. We then saw MVP bump into Ricochet, and he just basically says that we know how good you are, we know how talented you are, we know how much you've been held back the last couple of years and how much you can still show the world. Now, you've never been the most greatest talker in the world, but that's where MVP can potentially come in and help. I'll let you do you, but if you feel you need that little bit extra help, you just take my business card. Passes the MVP business card to Ricochet. 52 for that segment. We then move into women's action. About that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeats Emi Sakura in 5:46 with a lockjaw. Storytelling match, obviously. If you're going to get Britt away from extremely poor form, you have to get her matches to get her out of it. Trying to put her with really good workers, and obviously Emi Sakura is one of them. Unfortunately though, Britt was off her game, only a 44 performance to Emi's 52. But the segment overall drew a 57. We then moved into a little backstage segment where Christian Cage talks about what went down when he tried to attack Bryan Danielson. Of course, Kip Sabian get out of the way. And he's in the background here. You get Kill Switch, you get Nick Wayne, you get Shayna Wayne, and he's saying to Renee he's got to teach Kip Sabian a lesson. And he's also going to show, he doesn't just wait in the back. He's going to keep doing matches just to keep himself in the best condition possible. So sadly, because obviously I'm in non-speaking appearances, but they need to be in the background, We only get 36, but I'm hoping that can help with all their popularity. Then I had a little promo as well. Now this one I was hoping to do something different, but for some reason Willow wasn't available for the angle. So basically we just had Mariah cut a promo on her and just says if she wants to step up, she can face her at Wrestledream. So basically if Willow's able to, we'll have them. The plan basically was just to have a brawl segment, but it said Willow was unable to take part, so I don't know why that's happened, but she is in a contract with CMLL as well, so maybe that's an issue, but we'll see if she's available. That match will take place at Wrestledream, and it was a 53, gain heat, Mariah doing well off script, solid stuff. We then wanted that matchup between Christian Cage and Kip Sabian, and it was decent, but Christian picks up the win in 8:28 with the spear, following interference from Killswitch. Benefited from being an amazing forum, a 61 performance to Kip's 50, and a segment of 60. And we then moved on to a massive promo. It looks like there's a million people in it, but actually there was only 4, and their subjects were quite a lot of them. So let's talk you through it. So basically we hear from Jack Perry, we hear from Kazuchika Okada, we hear from the Young Bucks, and then the receiving end is the House of Black, FTR, and Kinosuke words are hard there, Kinosuke Takeshita. I usually get that one spot on. The storyline advances, all of them did well going off script, because I believe it's Matthew doesn't want to be scripted, but it's just them talking about, you know, how the Elite have changed the business, how they're all champions, and it's going to remain the same after Wrestledream. Okada says he's going to beat Takeshita, bitch. The Young Bucks say it doesn't matter if it's FTR, they've beat them before, it doesn't matter if it's the House of Black, they'll take on all comers at the pay-per-view. So at the moment I'm looking at a triple threat match. I may possibly add on a 4th team, we'll see who's available. And Jack Perry, well, we'll find out his opponent on Collision. But the promo itself was a 60 for our best promo. We then had a decent matchup that saw Daniel Garcia defeat Brian Cage in 11:43 with the Sharpshooter. I made this one a Steal the Show matchup. I feel like this one could actually be quite decent. Only a 56 for Daniel, a 46 for Brian Cage, but a 55 overall, and a good win for Buffalo's own. Then I had a little hype interview with Mercedes Moné. She says the TBS Championship will be on the line at Wrestledream, but she's going to allow someone from Stardom to step up and be a surprise challenger. So 50 for the segment. We will see Mercedes in action. I just wasn't sure there was someone I wanted to dive straight into a TBS match, so we'll utilise that link with Stardom, and of course she's always said she wanted to face people worldwide, and that includes people coming into AEW, so maybe that's what she needs in real life, is more of those matches against the Joshies in AEW. Phew. I was worried when I saw an injury, but it's okay. I had a wild brawl matchup here. It was the Blackpool Combat Clubs, Claudio Castagnoli and Pac, against Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. This one, of course, the BCC win. They win in 5:53 when Claudio pinned Parker with the neutralizer. Claudio carried the match with a 65 performance. Negatives here, we got a strange rotator cuff for Matt Menard, so that'll probably not take him out of action, but we'll probably be having to work through that for a bit. And Brandon could have done a better job at putting this match together. We'll take him off red agent duties. We've done the same with Farid Davari. Until the no agent note pops up, you don't really know about it. So 52, obviously, you get a hit for that, you get a hit for that. Probably would have been maybe a 60. The worry, Pac only got a 52. So we'll have to work with Pac and make sure we get him in a much better spot. Now this sets up something big. Thank you, Brandon. So in the first part of this segment, we have Claudio in the ring, we have Pac in the ring, and we have John at Mox. So just to listen, he's not there, but Darby talks about him, and he just says, I'm tired of you guys basically doing this, that, and whatever. It's time for me to get some revenge. Pac have brought some friends along with me who are going to get some revenge on you. Out comes Darby Allin, joined by the Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix and Penta. I'm going to utilise him in a save. If you didn't watch any of my TW 2020 stuff, basically Rey Fenix got a career-ending injury, which meant I couldn't use him. And typical, they'd be trying to leave. is I want to use them in this, so no, they're staying. I want to utilise them. Rey Fenix is absolutely class and one of my favourites to watch. So basically here, the 3-on-2 attack, obviously, Yuta's nowhere, Moxley's nowhere either. He's just obviously listening, but he's no got to be here for the brawl. And the babyface, got the advantage before the heels scurry to the back. Sadly, only a 44 and a 50 for this segment. I'm going to have to deal with Alex Abrahantes. The segment itself was only a 48, and that was us using Claudio's angle idea, which was a success, which would have gave it a little boost. That's one of the things, we get a lot of angles and storyline ideas brought forward from actual wrestlers. Like Alone had like Claudio, Mariah, I think I had someone else in the creative meeting, so they're going to be quite difficult to keep up with. But the good thing is, as you can see there, it was brought to my attention and it was going to expire next week, so we had to utilise it very quick. Main event hopefully should be a banger. And it is. I wanted this match straight away. And I bet they had great wrestling and good heat. Bryan Danielson defeats Roderick Strong in 22:06 by submission with the cattle mutilation. Claudio Castagnoli made his way back out. He tried to hit Danielson, but in the end he just put Roderick Strong into trouble and gave Bryan the win. So basically that allowed us to have a storyline associated with it, so it wouldn't penalise it too much. 84 for Bryan, 65 for Roddy. The storyline advances and gains a bit of heat. Great chemistry, and it showed in their performances. Good, because Roddy's going to keep getting a push after this, because we know these two can do well together. And our final segment, a new psychology spot as well for Bryan. Perfect. It's just basically Bryan saying, Moxley, Claudio's tried, Pac's tried, so many people have tried. My career does not end this Sunday. I am going to kick your fucking head in. And we fade to black. 78 rated segment. Bryan's final run storylines advanced and gained heat. And worked the crowd well and benefited from a groundswell of public support. So overall, gained pop quite convincingly. 19 regions, we get a 74, so that's pretty good. Thanks to basically Bryan Danielson and Roderick Strong. But it allows us to hopefully get everyone else up in a good position. We'll stick with the strict limits, as I've said. The situation Bryan is, he is signing this 2-year deal, so I'm not going to have champion for 2 years, so we'll probably try and gimmick it one way where he loses, maybe takes a hiatus, and then some mad storyline brings him back out of retirement. So pretty decent Dynamite, happy with that one, and hopefully you'll stick around for Collision. It's now time for our general roundup and our Rampage roundup before we head into Collision, and then the next day is the pay-per-view, which is quite cool. So I can confirm that due to the injury sustained, Matt Menard will be out until mid-December. We've not had anything in terms of returns. I've looked at a few signings, but it's nothing that will be on the main roster. It's all stuff for ROH. I'm really trying to pad out the women's division. Getting a lot on written deals so they can still work elsewhere, but just kind of keep developing in Ring of Honor. Because I feel we maybe need a bit more depth in the women's division on the main roster, so I'd imagine you'll probably get a few, your Red Velvets and all that coming back up at one point, just because we need people to put people over as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We got a warning for, was it Collision? No, for Rampage. Rampage was that bad, we got a warning for it. So I need to make sure we get higher than a 52, because we'll get a 50. So opted for the MXM Collection, defeating the Dark Order, Reynolds and Silver, was a 58. We had more words from Anna J. Lance Archer decided to squash Michael Nakazawa, which was a 36. We had a promo from Cassidy and Quen, Private Party, 28. Bit worrying. Small video, hyping up Serena Deeb. We had Kyle Fletcher defeat Tommy Billington in a 56, which was quite encouraging. And then we had them get some words from Nigel McGuinness, who has actually been nice. Just said, you've done well, your future's bright, but no, don't let up, always be, what the British are known for, and that is just commonly try to just keep fighting. We then had the rap and entrance and the scissor me daddy ass between the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn before the Acclaimed defeated the Kingdom in a 56 in our main event. But for now, it's time for Collision. So sadly the attendance is just 1,990 in the Ford Idaho Center Theatre. And we start the show with the confirmation of our TNT Championship match at WrestleDream and it is Daniel Garcia who called out Jack Perry, and the scapegoat has arrived, and they basically go back and forth saying, you know, that he's done well, he's latched onto this kind of support from being the flavour of the month, but it's time now for Garcia to start taking AEW gold home and cement that television championship with weekly defences and proper wrestling. So 46 for the promo, a wee bit disappointing there. Oh, that's annoying, injury already. Had a wild brawl. So wild brawls are bringing out injuries. One to Matt Menard now, one to Darby Allin. We'll see if that affects Wrestledream. But we obviously wanted to give him and Lucha Bros some positive momentum going into the pay-per-view. So they took on the Bang Bang Gang, which was Colton Gunn, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson. And a 14-17 victory with Ray Phoenix defeating Austin Gunn with the Meteora. So a cracked tailbone for Darby. In real life he'd probably still wrestle, but I think that might hamper him, so we might need a surprise partner for the Lucha Bros, which I might actually get away with because someone did return from injury. But 56 overall, I think that maybe will hit the 60s if you don't get the injury. But again, just giving them momentum before that trios match tomorrow night. Thanks, CD. After this, we got a promo from Pac and Claudio, just basically saying, we'll make sure Wheeler has his head in the right place, and we're going to give you an absolute battering for what you've done to us on Dynamite. Simple, effective, 46 segment, and the storyline advancing lost heat. Obviously, we'll find out about Darby at the end of the show, and what we're going to do regarding that. Outrunners took on the Grizzled Young Veterans next. It was decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat, as the GYV defeat the Outrunners in 9:24, when Zach Gibson pinned Truth Magnum with the ticket to Mayhem. Gibson carried the match because James Drake was off his game, so that would have hampered him with a bit of performance. But 58, again just giving the Grizzled Young Vets a good bit of momentum. The Outrunners, are you going to push them too high in the tag division? I don't think so, but we'll see what we do with them anyway. We can always have them win some and lose some when required. Next up, with a small video package on Kinosuke Takeshita, basically just hype him up before his Continental Championship match against Kazuchika Okada, and that gave us a 40 rated segment. And next up, we had Deonna Purrazzo defeat Tay Melo in 9-11 with Fujiwara Armbar, 55, 36 and a 57, so pretty decent stuff here. As I say, we can continue to build up our women's midcard. The temptation to bring up Taya Valkyrie and have Deonna Taya, I kind of want to see where they go in real life with that, because I don't see who they bring into that stable alongside those two. So I kind of want to see how it plays in real life to visualise what I feel is a fit for the group, because I personally don't know. So we'll keep an eye on that one. With a little interview here, Kip Sabian is with Lexi Nair. He's talking about Christian Cage, just basically saying how it was disappointing how him and the rest of the patriarchy have been just basically making his life a hell about his father. And obviously he lost to Christian last week, but he's hoping, as I say, to try and start getting wins and not allow Christian to get into his head too much. And of course he decided to lose straight away in a decent match with Roderick Strong, with Roddy winning in 9:05 with a sick kick. 61 overall here. As I say, Roddy had a big defeat to Bryan Danielson, but we've been mostly positive with Roddy, and hopefully, as I say, we can continue his push, but pretty decent. Just need some good promos and a good strong main event, which is a risky main event with a one-off performance against Bryan Danielson. So who's it going to be? It's a proper Tony Khan one. It has actually happened as well before. Small promo here, 5 minutes. We had Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood talking about the House of Black, talking about the EVPs, the Young Bucks, and just basically saying it doesn't matter which version of the House of Black turns up. It doesn't matter if the Young Bucks decide to fully turn up. They're going to win this triple threat tag match and become champions again and take the tag division to new heights. So 54, storyline continues but loses a bit of heat. I don't even know which two of the House of Black I'm going to go in this triple threat tag match, but I'm hoping they do deliver something special. Oh, that's actually surprising. Next up, we had some good good wrestling, but not a lot of heat. I had Rush defeat Commander in 8:01 with Lalanza. I made this one our steal the show match of the night. I felt these two would click, and despite no even boost through the performances, the 59 and 75 has worked well here, with very good wrestling. Crowd not really too into it, but segment overall doing pretty good. Obviously, Rush alongside the Realistico and the Beast Mortis last week attacking Hologram. And it seems they've got a little bit of a thing for attacking luchadors, masked luchadors, and this time in the form of Commander. Then move on, Mercedes just cuts a promo, just again getting her on television to mention her opponent. I still haven't decided who it was. I couldn't decide on the day. If I did decide on the day of Collision, it was going to have to be somebody from Ring of Honor. So we'll make it a complete surprise, and that means I can just make it possibly someone from Stardom, possibly someone from CMLL. So we'll see. I don't know, but it's obvious who's got to win because, you know, she's going to have an open challenge. But I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with her. It's one of those ones where if Chris Statlander wasn't a heel, I was so go with Mercedes and Chris, but we'll let both of them have their heel runs. And speaking of Chris, it's her former tag partner in action. She defeats Harley Cameron in 7:55 by pinfall. It was a storytelling match because obviously Harley's not the best in the ring, but decent reaction here. Gets Willow some positive momentum. I can confirm the reason she missed Dynamite was because she was working for CMLL. So if she's available and she gives us priority, then it'll be Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Championship. And then backstage as Willow hits the backstage area, I finally get my brawl between her and Mariah May. The segment advances the storyline, and it's a 49. And our main event matchup, because he got released from CMLL, so I thought we'll sign him, we'll give him a one appearance deal. In a technical masterclass that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Bryan Danielson defeats Ultimo Guerrero in 14:11 with a running knee. 71 for the wrestling, 42 crowd, 78 for the segment. Can tell I don't deal with crowd management, or I'd be here all day basically. Try to book one show, so 85 for Bryan. It's 56 for Ultimo Guerrero. I say it's just a one-off appearance, so he won't be back unless there's some sort of mad trios thing. I'll keep him as an open deal if needed in the future, but at the moment it was just to give me a strong match before Wrestledream. And a 78, I'm pretty happy with that one, so hopefully the main promo works. I think that's something Tony Khan would book as well, so hopefully the main promo can give us pop gain, and that's pretty good. 68, I'll take that. I was worried we were going to be in the 50s again, but it's just Moxley saying I hope you enjoy this moment with Ultimo Guerrero. You're getting all these dream matches out of the way because tomorrow is your final match. We see no more Bryan Danielson. All these years we've had as friendship, or we were going to change wrestling, and you just threw it all away. So this is going to be a change of how wrestling's going to be for the good when I become the AEW World Champion yet again. I'm going to do it in your home state as well, which annoys me because that is why Darby Allin should have been wrestling. I will try and book it in the Tacoma Dome. We'll take any pop loss on it, money loss on it if the attendance isn't near, but yeah, 68 for the segment. Storyline advances, gains a little bit of heat. We gain popularity in 13 regions. Obviously, I don't think Collision shows in many places as Dynamite, so we don't have too many gains, but wow, the fans were disappointed that the storylines furthered during the show. None of them were really match specific, it was more promos. But I feel you get that a lot, it's promos that carry them rather than actual matches, unless you go up, here's an interference, or they somehow collide with each other. But increases in popularity in 13 regions, a 72 certainly puts us on a good way. So injury review, can we work through, thank God. So Darby Allin will be in that matchup. He just obviously will take a bit of a hit with a penalty to his rating. The replacement was going to be Vikingo because he came back from injury literally, like, I think before Rampage. No, it wasn't before Rampage was broadcast. So we'll work him into plans soon. But yeah, Darby Allin will be okay. 30 days. Financial report sees us back up to 100 million. So I probably should start investing that rather than just making sure we have lots of money. Popularity recap, you can see he gains in most of the United States, which is good, up to 61, and a wee gain there in New South Wales. So I think I will be gaining Collision in America and then Oceania. That's fine. Not as simple as last year's game where you I'll just make main network. I think we will have the AEW network at one point, but let's make it a wee bit of a challenge to start with before everybody's like 80 rated in terms of overness, and we can put on good match after good match. So while we've got a loading screen here, I'm just going to run through what I have planned for Wrestledream. It's really after Wrestledream we can start branching out to like completely fictional ways from real life, but it's obviously AEW World Championship, Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. Trios Championships on the line as the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio Castagnoli, Pac and Wheeler Yuta take on Darby Allin and the Lucha Bros. TNT Championship on the line as Daniel Garcia faces Jack Perry. Continental Championship on the line as Kazuchika Okada takes on Konosuke Takeshita. I think we'll give Will Ospreay and Ricochet a pass, unless I can find something for them. I don't feel it's been promoted great in terms of the next match. It was like, oh, they had the match and he's trying to get in his head. Although I don't know. We'll see with that one. Triple Threat tag match for the Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks defend against the House of Black and FTR. House of Black members to be determined. Mercedes Moné versus a Stardom or CMLL wrestler for the TBS Championship. And Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale for the Women's Championship if Mariah is available. So lots of possibilities to be seen there. You can see there Takagi is taking a bit of mentorship with Katsuya Murashima. Ultimo Guerrero has left, thank you very much. Fabi Apache has decided to mentor Flammer. I don't know. I don't even know if there is a wrestler by that name. I'm still educating myself on basically places that isn't the main companies in America. Miranda Alays is away to TNA. Frankie V has a nice wee friendship with Charlie Evans. And we complete the signing of Millie McKenzie. Written deal. Oh, she is Ironclad. Okay. So 6-month deal, and it's just to get her into Ring of Honor. And we're looking to get Kenzie Page as well. So young wrestlers that have got a lot of potential that should boost our women's division. Let's have a look. Kota Ibushi was hired by Choco Pro. Marvelous have signed Mi Suruga. I've basically, all the major companies I would usually sign from, I've got them all shortlisted so I can get the stuff from inbox. Grayson Waller's done his appearance for PWA. The Switchblade is back, so maybe we can do something with Switchblade. And Collision was around about 1 million viewers overall. So I'm going to have a look now and see who we can get to take on Mercedes. I might have an angle on the night that gets Ricochet versus Ospreay in some sort of stipulation, because obviously you can plan the stuff with MVP. But I feel like we're in a good position in terms of, I suppose it depends how long the show is, because obviously some of these matches will be quite lengthy. But looking forward to it, first pay-per-view, all the learning curve, and then after this we have to start learning and start hitting towards getting people over. Because what we can do in pay-per-views as well is we'll look at certain wrestlers that we've utilised. No, you're not really going to see so much in the first month, but you can see like basically going forward, like in November, progression we can make in terms of popularity and skill attributes to see who's developing and who's not, and what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. Because we've got obviously with if I just quickly show this as well, we're in our circle. With QT Marshall being the trainer, he's getting people to learn under him. So he's got maybe 7 or 8 of our younger talents that are constantly learning. So I'll be intrigued to see how they develop. But apart from that, cheers for watching, it's much appreciated. Remember to check out the Grey Dog Software forums, the Fantasy Booker subreddit, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. Make sure you got them right for all your TW sources. But take it easy, and hopefully see you for the next episode, AEW Wrestledream 2024. Bye bye.